Well, hey folks, thanks for stopping in. So, wanted to address some of the title screens, text credit that's available in Filmora, and they have a lot of very good defaults, but I think a lot of people don't have any idea of the power behind the program, where you can change things to make it your own rather than just use what's already there. And of course, if you just take this in steps, it's not that difficult. You can take a just make small changes to begin with. Change the fonts, of course the size, perhaps change the background. You can take a title screen and make a massive difference just by changing the background of the fonts, and it's still the same screen. Plus there's animation you can go in and change on the lettering. So there is just a host of different things to do. Filmora will pick up any fonts that are on your PC or MacBook or whatever you have. And there is a whole lot of fonts that are available
Yes, ma'am.
at no charge by simply going here. This is Google Fonts. They are free. There's no charge for them. You can download them, install them on your PC. And I don't know if I see a total count here or not. There's 847 different fonts. If you do go to fonts.google.com, they do tell you that they are free, that you can download them, put them on your own computer. So anyway.
What's the link you have up? B-Lady's asking.
Okay, it is fonts.google.com. fonts.google.com. And that's just one source of free fonts. If you do a Google search for free fonts, you'll find more than you know what to do with. So anyway, getting back to the program. The little 30-some second promo that I just threw together for tonight's show here, I have that up here on the screen. And if we look through that, let me just let me minimize the sound. You're not hearing the music. You can hear me. Probably rather hear the music. But I'll go ahead and play this, and I'll just kind of explain a little bit what I did. So I'll do some starting and stopping. I started out with a graduated color screen background. This one right here. It's in this they call it Graduate 4, but it goes from a lighter blue into a darker blue. And I added the Wondershare Filmora picture. It's a PNG file. So it has I made the background on it transparent, so no matter what I overlay this on, it will show through. Obviously, if you put it over a white background or light gray, it'd be very difficult to see, but there's other ways around doing things like that as well. So as we move ahead, I use two different titles in the program here. And you're going to find them within credit. Right here is the one title that I use, and they call it a wreath end credit. Now, if you look at what's up here in the picture, it's considerably different than what you see in the window here. So actually all I've done, let's go into that one. Is I've stretched font out. There's two pieces to this font, or to this title. There is the leafy background, and then of course the fonts that I put in and just centered. Yes.
Grizz asked Daryl, the two bars below for music, what's the purpose of the two bars?
You can have multiple soundtracks. You can overlap soundtracks. You can, matter of fact, you can add more, Grizz. You can add more than that. One of the recommended ways to do what is called ducking, and what that is typically seen with voice overlays where you have music in the background. You have the music at a certain volume, and then when you go to speak, you don't want to eliminate the music, but you just want to like turn it down. So one of the ways that they recommend doing this, I'm not saying I necessarily agree, but they'll take a music track and put them right over top of each other so that they are identical. They play at the same time. And they'll take one of those tracks and make it at a low volume. In other words, where the person is talking, that's the volume they'd want it. And then the other one, they have at a louder volume. But as you go through your video, you can, where you want to go talk, you cut or slice the loud music track, and you can cut out the section where you're going to be doing your talking. So the low level is playing all the way through all the time, and the loud one is just in there when are not talking. Of course, that's by your editing skills. And then, of course, you can fade those in and out. So, does that answer your question, Grizz? I hope. And we can show you some examples of that here after a bit as well. Coming back to this, so I have two different titles in this particular screen. And I can change the color.
He says, yes, that makes sense.
So what I have highlighted here is the first part. This is the part that's really not available to edit as far as the content, but it is in here that you can change the color, you can change the size, the shape. We can have it read like this. If you go to the text portion, again, I can change the color. We'll make it yellow. I can obviously change the size. I can change the opacity of it, so to make it more translucent, make it see-through. Bring it back up to full. I can blur it. And of course, all the rest of the little bits here where let's put a red border around it. I can change the size of the border. If you look at what's up there right now, this is the type that Off-Grid with Doug and Stacy used on their intros, where they had the Off-Grid with Doug and Stacy. They used a very fat border behind the font, behind the lettering. And of course you can blur the background as well, so it has a softer feel. And you can also add a shadow. There's a host of different types. Let's use something here that maybe kind of stands out. Let me try it with a light color here. Okay. I think you can see here I've duplicated the lettering in the back. I've stretched it out as far as I can with the distance. It just simply moves it back and forth. And if I blur that, of course that makes it fuzzier or fatter. You can change the transparency of it. And just going with there. So by using these two title screens, and actually I've only used one so far, the other title screen I use is what's called a lower third. And at this point, we're just concerned with the bottom lower third here. Sounds like we have a youngster going by now.
Yeah, pitch black out. The kid's on a little thing that you can't even see. Probably the sheriff's son.
Anyway, this lower third is divided into three parts as well. It has two sets of fonts in it, which of course are different size. And as you highlight these three parts, that's what you can see it highlight around the piece here. So you can change where I'm at here now. This is the blue line is going across. I can make that line much fatter. I can move it anywhere around the screen. I can actually make it like a background on the font. The fonts are the same way. You can make it much larger or smaller. You can align it. You can stretch the lettering out, bring the lettering back so it's tighter together.
Okay. Oh, are you reading that?
Well, I'm trying to.
Okay.
B-Lady, we have done that in some of a couple of the promos for the live show. The problem is, at least once with my skills, which are not that great, it takes so long. We actually had a picture of Smudge and a picture of Sassy.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
And we had them go across the screen, and of course Sherry was speaking for Sassy, and I was speaking for Smudge. And I don't remember which one it was, but when you're looking to do a 3-minute video and you've got 4 hours of editing for a 10-second clip, that's just...
She just said, you're an expert. Grizz.
Well, Chris, as a matter of fact, it can change your voice.
Oh, yeah.
It can change your voice. We'll show you that here in a minute. Well, let's go on through the promo here.
Lady, he may already have the legs.
Okay, the next title that I put on, and I used the words default title because this was the... Let me go in and find it here. Search. There we go. This is the title I used. It's called Modern One, easy to use. We'll just highlight it. This is how it comes out of the box. Creates a square and then disappears. So I left it pretty much the same. You can see it creates the square, and I just changed the wording to default title. Then I used a lower third that says change this title to this. This is still this exact same title that I'll play here. This title right here, I'm using the exact same one. It's Modern One. And I've made it do this. So let me show you here once. I'm just going to bring I'll bring that title in. And we'll just work with it over here. I'm going to stretch it out on the timeline a little bit. So, this has two different pieces in this title format. It has the square block, and it has the text file that's easy to use. So we're going to come in here. We're just going to set the text aside for right now, and let's do something with the block. You can change the shape. You can turn it around. Do it very long and skinny. Make it as a full frame almost around the entire our screen. Let me square it up here. And you can round it. So I've just made it into an oval. And the way you do that, if you notice inside, I'm hoping you can see this, there is a very small yellow square, in this case it's yellow, in the one corner. By moving your mouse over that square, you can just round the corners.
E-Lady wants to know, is this like Word? Whatever is in the box is affected by it. I'm lost on her question.
Yes, and yes it is. Whatever is inside your box that you're working on.
Okay.
Now, if you don't want a red circle here, you can make it some other color. And they have a little test format here that you can see what it looks like with what you've done. So I've now changed this diamond-shaped pattern that the words come out of to an oval that then disappears. Well, let's say I want to add another shape. Hoping you can see where I have my mouse. It's trying to show you here, center it. Along the top of this screen, maybe I can make this bigger. Maybe that'll help. Right here is its title. When you hover over it, it says Add Shape. If you press on that, there's a limited number of shapes you can add. Now all the shapes you can modify them, but there's a limited number you can add. This is, if you would, this is one of the limitations with Filmora. It's not endless. However, they keep upgrading, they keep bringing more stuff in. So let's add this arrow, and when you bring it in, it's going to bring it in the same color and shape as what was previously there. So we'll just move it down here. We'll stretch it out a little bit to make it a little bit bigger. Now this shape has two small areas in it that you can grab. So I can narrow the shaft of the arrow here. And then up in this corner, I can make it much longer, more like an arrowhead, if you would. And let's make the color on this one a darker red.
Is that a text box?
That is not a text box. This is a shape box.
There you go, B. It's a shape box.
At least wise in this program.
Well, the outer shape looks like me. I'm not sure about the inner shape.
So now let's go back to the lettering. We'll bring it kind of back into the picture here.
B, why do you want the box smaller? Just ask him to make the box smaller with the arrow inside.
To make the box smaller. Okay, I'm not sure that I'm following what you want to do.
Oh, to see if the arrow goes with it.
Okay, so in other words, the box around the circle, each item is independent. So if I make this, see, it's independent of the arrow. So for each object, you are controlling the size of that object. And of course, this is the arrow. Now,
Yeah, that's what you wanted you to do.
now I pulled the lettering back up, but if you notice, the layering is incorrect. The lettering is behind the arrow. Well, that may be effect you want, but perhaps you don't. You can change this. Let's see, what do I have highlighted? I have the arrow highlighted. So I can move that back one. By doing that, now my lettering is on top of the arrow. So you can stack multiple items within this. The fonts will dynamically change with the box. You can make them smaller and larger. And of course, you can also change the font size itself. Generally speaking, I'm going to use some generalizations here. You want the text size of the font to be as large as possible to maintain as crisp of edges as possible. However, with a full 25 to 35% of the viewers on YouTube, if you're looking at just using this for YouTube, seeing it on their phone, it isn't going to matter one iota. It can't render that sharp. You know, you have these people uploading 4K videos and talking how crisp and clean they are on a phone. You're not going to tell the difference between a 720 and a 4K video. Anyway, let's play this through once, and you can see that what started out as a square is now an oval, and it's animated. The arrow has no animation at this point, and the text does have animation. So we'll just go ahead and play that. And as it approaches the end here, text goes away and the circle disappears. Now you can change those points. So if I go into the easy to use, I can change. Where it comes in the program, we'll go back to the beginning. See, it comes in much faster now. So you can change the length and duration of your objects within the window. If I didn't want the arrow to come in until, let's just say at this point. So now when you play it, you have the circle, the text, then the arrow pops in. The whole point here is you can take a very simple title and modify it to make it your own, so people can't even tell that it's that it was a pretty much a box stock item that you grabbed out of a generic editing program. This is some of the capabilities that is capable with this particular program. We'll take it a step further here. I'm going to make the arrow much smaller. Text up here. So now if I highlight the text and I want to add text, That's the first little box up here on the left. That comes back in with what was originally in that other box. You can see it doesn't look the same. So you do have to modify it and change it back. But again, this is just part of making it to your liking, if you would. You've actually taken a font and just adjusted it to your preferences. But since we've added this text here box, we've not done any animation with it. So it pops in right away. So, and we'll go back. Now I'm going to take that and I'm going to go up the upper left here and say animation. If you hover over any of these different selected animations, you'll get a very, very brief what it does. If you double click it, it shows it on the screen. So this is what they call a down roll. Of course, they have an up roll. It's almost endless with what you can do. Now, by looking at this pixelized one, because it shows it pretty quickly, if you look at the line that this is on, you can see how it changed it. This is where it does its pixelization in the beginning here. In the center part, this is where you have your solid text where it's readable, and it changes back to being pixelized so that you can no longer see it. You can change those durations. By just modifying that, we'll go back to the beginning of this. The circle, the easy to use, it pixelizes, and we have the arrow. So now we can also take this arrow and we can angle it. So now it looks more like this. Kellie, I'm just looking at your comment here. There's nothing to prevent you from, when you want to do, or when you're working on a video, you can do this on the video that you want to do. If you get into a point here and you say, oh, I don't like this, you can hit cancel. It says the text has been modified. Do you want to say it changes? Say no. Now, we're right back to square one. So if you get it where you don't want it, you can just say no. Cancel, start over again. And of course, worst case, you can always just come back into your program and just delete it. Bring something else in. So let me ask you this: Is there any other questions on the modification of titles? And
Bee lady, tell him about your skill set for what? Taking care of bees or doing your video?
Rusty Anderson, is that by chance doing a Cheap's wine recipe? Now, some of these openers, where you see they're a little bit fancier. They are not quite as customizable. Back out of that. This particular opening title, and most of the opening titles in this group where they have openers, I happen to have 53 of them. And I guess I should also state that if you buy the program, you may not have this many. I've had this program for a while, and through updates they have added. I've not purchased any other enhancement packs. They're available to buy, but I have not purchased any. If it was free, I downloaded it. But with the ease of customization, it's already at an endless point, because I can take most any of these titles and make them my own. If you do make this title into something you really like, you can save it as a custom title. I have a few that I use all the time, so I use them as templates. I'm sure that you've all seen this at the end of a lot of our videos. Well, this is the I just saved this as a template. You're looking at the default version of my template. Let me bring it down into the edit line. And we'll go into the advanced editing. The very top piece on this is all this background, the square box around it. I frequently will just come in, highlight that, and delete it. Excuse me. I then have the exact same title, but it no longer has that background going around it. Now, I could take this and I could add a shape. So we'll go with a square. I have a square that I've turned into a rectangle. Let me make it just a little bit bigger here. And let's say I want to use this for my background. So now I'm going to move that to the back, and I have all my lettering and stuff on top of it. On this square, I can add that animation. If I decide that this is something that I want as a template or for a special occasion, right down here it says save as preset, and that will then save it into the area of the fonts and titles where it has favorites or save titles. Custom, they call it. How do you get Filmora and how much? Well, I do not work for Filmora. We are not affiliates of them. Irregardless what you would do, it doesn't pay us at all. I just like the program because it's very easy. But if you you just go into a Google search and type in Filmora. This is their community thing where they do have a blog. They do have videos on how to do all of this. No. This is our blog. So Filmora.io is not what you want. Wondershare.com. Filmora. It is a free to try download. However, it does watermark it very strongly. But this is what I have. It's a lifetime license. It's $60. You can do it with PayPal. Add to your cart. Use any of your credit cards or however you want to do it. They do have some package deals sometimes. And I'm not sure about the educational discounts. I don't know that. But you would just have to email them. But they do have technical support. And I can tell you that I have used their technical support. I purchased the original program. It had some titles in it that I liked. When they had a major upgrade, which was free to me, and I upgraded, those titles disappeared. I contacted them, and they supplied me with a link to get the older titles from the earlier version. I downloaded those and put them right back in. But the personal is $60. Like I said, they do have some package deals. Particular one, you know, they're and they will do this all the time. They have an effects store, and I can't blame them. I mean, you know, they're in business. They're trying to make money. These are their effects sets. And what they call a blockbuster set, and a wedding set, and gaming set, and lower third expansions, and bundles, and where it says free, I go for those because I can take any of those effects and modify them. So I hope that maybe answered your question. You can see they do have some bundle sets where they've thrown 4 or 5 together and a little bit of discount. And they do this all the time. I mean, they're a merchandising store. They're in business. They're trying to sell you. Obviously, they have to stay in business. They have a version for mobile editing. And they have a, I've not really tested this, but they have a screen recorder that really looks impressive. Now, the program itself has a screen recorder. If I go back into the media here, there's a record button where I can record from a webcam, I can record from a PC screen, or I can record a voiceover. So if I want to record from the PC screen, I just click on that. You can do a full screen, you can do partial, custom target window, you can do it with sound, without sound. That's my daughter.
What?
Hey lady, who is that Daryl is marrying? They saw my desktop.
He was giving her away.
Yeah,
She got married at the Columbus Zoo.
I didn't charge enough. But that's my daughter. And Sherry put that in the on my desktop.
Yep.
Okay, do we want to do we have any more questions about the I'm not forgetting Grizz. I know that he asked about the music tracks. I don't know if I fully answered his question or not, and I told him I'd get back to it. So, Grizz, if you're still here, if you want a better explanation or to show something on that, we can do that. And thank all of you for jumping in here and watching. We've had some people ask us to do these things, so we wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for you folks. You would like to know about voice narrate over video. Okay.
I don't think so, B. That would really be multitasking.
What's that?
Grizz wants, or B wants to know if Filmora can be used for other applications like making and printing stationery.
No. All right. Well, let's just use this as an example here. This was this 30-second, 38-second or something video clip. Let me try to cautiously watch the sound here. There it has the sound. And I have this already, but now I want to talk about it. We'll do it that way. So if I come back into my media area, where this would start here, it doesn't really matter. As long as you're back in your media area, you can record a voiceover. And obviously we do this. I do this every week when we do the things for the live stream, the little promo videos. You really didn't think that was smudge talking, I hope.
That and shipping dehydrated water.
Shipping dehydrated water. So we'll come in here, and I've moved the video up to the point where I'm going to start talking. I'll say record a voiceover. All right, you can set up your microphone if you have a different mic like I have here for doing the broadcast, and you can have this in. It will give you a short countdown. Start recording.
Sorry, Vina. I know. It's hard to take.
Oh my.
I know.
I'm so sorry, Vina.
We'll have to bring him down so you can talk to him.
If you click on the microphone, you'll get a brief countdown. The video will play in the background, and you just talk and say what you want to say. So I'll click this. 3, 2, 1. Hi, Grizz. This is for you. So you can see how the voiceover works in this particular program. Now, if you're listening, obviously I would hope that you are, you're going to hear the music in the background, and I'll show you in a way to not have that play and not modify anything. So now we'll just click OK. And it has stopped. Let's go hear what it sounds like. Hi, Grizz. This is for you. So you can see how the voiceover works in this particular program. Now, if you're listening, obviously I will hope that you are, you're going to hear the music in the background, and I'll show you in a way to not have that play and not modify it. So now we'll just click OK. All right. So we have everything we want, but what we want the music to do in the background is to be lower. So this is a quick and dirty way to do this. slide your marker to the beginning of the voiceover, highlight the music track, and snip it.
Snip it good.
Just snip it. Go to the end of your voiceover. Have the music track highlighted. And snip it there. I've now taken this music track and cut it into 3 parts. So we have the original, and of course the center while you're talking, and then the end. So let's go into the center while you're talking. We'll double click it to enter it.
Lost my pills.
And let's just turn the volume down. Now, because we've cut that into 3 parts, that volume key is only changing
come after me.
Is only changing this area where you're talking. So we'll say, okay, let's see what this sounds like. Start it over again. Hi, Grizz. This is for you. So you can see how the voiceover works in this particular program.
Owen doesn't need it.
Now, if you're
Already sounds
listening,
female.
obviously, I will hope that you are. You're going to hear the music in the background, and I'll show you in a way to not have that play and not modify
No,
it.
I'm not eating cookies.
So now we'll just click OK.
Would you like one?
So that's a very simplified example, I guess.
Did you ever do the voice where it changes, like Grizz asked a while ago?
Oh,
Remember he asked that one? Because he wanted a girl's voice?
okay. And the voice. Let's see what we have here. Hi, Grizz. This speed, volume, fade in, fade out, pitch. This is for you. So
works in this particular program. Now, if you're listening, obviously I would hope that you are. You're going to hear the music in the background, and I'll show you in a way.
This is cool. Now turn that voice into female.
Play and not modify it. So now we'll just click OK.
okay. Again, you're somewhat limited here with the amount of modifications you can make with this program for this price. But there are some excellent audio editors out there that can emulate things like a robot, man's voice, child's voice, woman's voice, different things like that. Filmora on its own cannot do that. It can change the pitch, and fade in, fade out. You can change the speed. If I have that highlighted, if I want to go 1.5 times.
Hi, Grizz. This is for you. So you can see how the voiceover works in this particular program. Now, if you're listening, obviously I would hope that you are. You're going to hear the music in the background, and I'll show you in a way to not have that play and not modify anything. So now we'll just click OK.
So
Nor will you look like her. Oh, we're all going to have that vision in our head tonight. Dolly Parton with a gray beard.
okay, and folks, it's going on 9 o'clock here, so we need to send you over to homesteading with the cases. They do their show tonight, and I want to thank everybody for coming in. If you have a topic or a question that you would like to work on with Filmora, just drop me an email. Send it to filmyhomestead@gmail.com, and we will we'll kind of make that the topic of the show. We'll do that next Tuesday, 8:00. So thanks everybody for coming.
And the comedy show was free. We'll probably have it again next week.
And we will see everybody later. Don't forget our Monday night shows. And,
like, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family, and tell the enemies.
All right. Thanks so much. Go see Homesteading with the Cases. Tell them we sent you. Thanks.
Bye-bye. This is for glasses.